morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I'm supposed to say a beautiful morning here in PV. It will be a beautiful morning, maybe an hour or two when it all burns off. But it's, of course, always great to be in Pacific Beach, and it's always a great day to invest, to celebrate more federal investment coming to our city. With me this morning are Congressmember Scott Peters, City Council member for this district, Joe LaCava, City Council member for the district just that away, Dr. Jennifer Campbell, our city's Transportation Director, Bethany Bezak, as well as our city's Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Chris McFadden. We also have two key community leaders here in Pacific Beach joining us, the Chair of the Planning Committee, Carl Rand, as well as the Chair of the Town Council, Charlie Nieto. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I'll also note that Congressmember Juan Vargas was not able to join us this morning, but we have representation from his office. Michael Rivas is here this morning. We appreciate, there he is over there. Appreciate you being here. You don't have to stand over there. Listen, your boss needs to know that you were here. We want to document. I'm going to tell Juan that you were here, you were present, you were well dressed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Very good. Excellent. All right. Well, I want to share with you all this morning, our city is so blessed to have incredible representation in Congress that understands the needs of our residents and of our local communities. Residents depend on our city services and infrastructure each and every day for their safety and for their well-being. Thankfully, that's something that our former city council members, Scott Peters and Juan Vargas, understand intuitively, and they have not forgotten now that they represent us back in Washington, D.C. Over the past 2 years, our congressional delegation has delivered close to $25 million in federal investment throughout our region through the community projects funding process. Now, these are dollars that go directly into community assets like repairing our roads, modernizing our libraries, building new community parks, and what we're here to talk to you about today, which is fixing our streetlights. The $3.5 million in funding that Congressmembers Peters and Vargas have secured for San Diego is going to replace outdated series circuit streetlight wiring in neighborhoods of Pacific Beach, Point Loma, and Logan Heights. Now, you might be saying, Mayor, what the heck is a series circuit light? Not easily said. Let me tell you a little bit about what these are and why it is so expensive to fix them. Many of us may remember growing up old-fashioned Christmas tree lights where one light would go out and the whole string wouldn't work. This is what that is. And unfortunately, many of our city streetlights operate on those sort of series circuits where when they go out, one goes out, they all go out. And that, unfortunately, is the current state of the situation right here in Pacific Beach. The funding to fix them is more expensive. It's not just a light bulb, it's a whole rewiring. And unfortunately, of course, the time it takes, where city crews have to go out and check in each and every single light, it takes a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of time. This is why so many streetlights, in some cases, are out for long periods of time. This funding will help us replace this outdated wiring that makes these lights so unreliable and so difficult to repair, including a redundant circuit so that if anything happens on one circuit, the lights can still operate on the second one while the first one gets repaired. That's pretty ingenious, right? This will greatly reduce the outages in the area and the resources needed to maintain them. Altogether, this investment will help the city bring around 200 streetlights back online in these neighborhoods and, more importantly, make sure that they're more reliable in the future. Now, of course, this is not going to happen overnight, but thanks to Congressman Peters and Congressman Vargas' leadership, we will have the funding we need to make these repairs, which will make our residents feel much safer. And other good news today for streetlights, today is the start of our contract with outside crews that are going to augment our incredible city staff's work to help address the backlog of streetlight repairs. Our city has, unfortunately, too few electricians. This is where I put in a plug. If you're an electrician, I want you to come work for the city of San Diego. We got good pay, good benefits, good job security, and a pretty cool boss, I would just say. These outside contractors are going to augment our city staff to try and take down the tremendous number of backlog streetlight repairs that are pending currently. And these folks will get to work immediately delivering repairs at hundreds of locations across the entire city. So the city is taking these steps and others to make sure the lights are on. One of the things that we're announcing is the installation of tamper-proof covers on streetlights to prevent them from being vandalized. Unfortunately, some of the repairs that we have to make are because folks are getting into those lights, pulling out the circuitry, again, making the repairs take longer and be more expensive, as well as installing temporary solar lights as a stopgap measure while longer-term infrastructure repairs are needed. Basically, we're doing everything we can to get the streetlights back on, and I couldn't do this work without the support of council members who understand that infrastructure is worthy of investment, and I have two with me today that are doing that, and it's my pleasure to turn the podium over to one of them, the council member for this district, Councilmember Joe LaCava. Joe?
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. Mayor, I want to thank you for your leadership in tackling the infrastructure challenges we face. Your work with state and federal legislators are key to assuring that San Diego gets its fair share of infrastructure dollars. And just as importantly, working with Chris McFadden, Bethany Bezak, and all our amazing city employees to ensure that we use those precious dollars wisely. But we're here today to thank Congressman Scott Peters, who worked alongside Congressman Juan Vargas to secure the $3.5 million for the Light Up San Diego Streetlight Improvement Project. Of that award, $2 million is allocated to fund the program and our beach communities and repair nearly 170 streetlights, with many of those right here in Pacific Beach. The current high-voltage series circuits and streetlight systems in Pacific Beach are quite old, installed in 1954. And I have to say, you love a mayor that will actually explain the engineering behind all these streetlight repairs. We have been spending limited maintenance resources trying to keep ahead of this aging infrastructure. And it is no secret that streetlights are failing faster than we can repair them. With this new funding, we now have the resources to ensure that 170 streetlights in our beach communities are working every night. These critical federal dollars allow us to bring the electrical wiring to modern standard, which will be more reliable and easier to maintain. We will also switch to energy-efficient LED lights, which have a longer lifespan and are better for the environment. As the council member for District 1 and the chair of the Environment Committee, we are making Pacific Beach and our city more sustainable. And I know the community leaders here are fighting for that every single day. So, Congressman Peters, with your partnership, we will get there faster. Thank you for helping us move this project forward. And with that, I would like to introduce the council member for District 2, Dr. Jennifer Campbell.
Thank you, sir.
Can you introduce Scott?
Yeah, okay. Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to be here on this beautiful foggy morning. And I want to add my thanks to all those who are here and tell you that it is an honor to be here also. PB used to be in my district, and now I've turned it over to the good hands of Councilmember LaCava, my good colleague that I sit next to on the council. And I know you're in good hands, and I know that we are moving forward. All these things that have been let go are being fixed up as we move along. Unfortunately, it's very expensive and it takes time, but we're working on it. So this program especially has been long awaited, and I'm so glad that it's here because it positively impacts the beach communities, many of which are still in District 2, and including Point Loma. And this will help Pacific Beach, Point Loma, and in District 8, Logan Heights. So this program is wonderful, and a special thanks to our Congressman Scott Peters for allocating the $2 million necessary, and also Congressman Juan Vargas for doing that. The funding will help repair 160 street lights and throughout these three communities, and it will help replace 50 series circuits. And the mayor very beautifully explained about the series circuits and what that means. Those of us old enough to have those silly kinds of Christmas tree lights remember what it's like when one bulb went out and there it was Christmas morning and the lights went off on the tree and everybody was like, oh. But anyway, I'm glad those days are over. We can now get all the lights to work on their own. So as you can see from the light over there that's pretty ancient, the street light, that's a beautiful gas lamp kind of street light. Some of these lights are pretty old, and that is true also in Point Loma. So I'm really glad we're into fixing this so the series circuits are a thing of the past. So this program has been in the works for a very long time, but without the latest federal funding from our congressman, and with the help, of course, of everyone here working on this project, we wouldn't be able to do this now. And I want to thank the town council here in Pacific Beach for all their good work. And with this funding, these 160 lights will be repaired, and we will brighten our communities, especially at night. Improving the infrastructure of our local communities is expensive, time-consuming, and very difficult. Still, it's essential that this hard work that has been neglected for decades gets done. And so we all want to make things right for San Diegans, and that's why we're serving you, and that's why we're here. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you. Yes, and I want to introduce my favorite congressman, my friend for many years, is just superb, did a great job on council, and has always done a great job in Congress, and continues now even in leadership positions in the Congress. So thank you, Congressman Peters, and here you go.
Can I use your step? No?
Certainly. Certainly.
Save that for you, Jen. Thank you. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come back out to Pacific Beach and to speak about this very bright project for the beach communities here in San Diego. It's great to be with you all. Representative Vargas and I, along with the rest of the San Diego congressional delegation, have supported critical legislation in recent months and recent years that make a difference in San Diegans' lives. Funds from laws like the American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the Infrastructure Investments and Jobs Act, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, flowing into our communities. But the federal funding we celebrate today is different because it was once made possible. It was made possible by what we call community project funding, which was once known as earmarks. For the second time in over 10 years, the House Appropriations Committee accepted community project funding requests to allow members of Congress to target federal funds toward projects and programs in their congressional districts, because we know what our congressional districts need in terms of infrastructure. And after a rigorous vetting and selection process, 14 projects I fought to include made it into last year's federal funding projects, bringing a total of $33,700,000 into California's 52nd district. My office helped deliver $2 million for this project, which will replace old circuit infrastructure to make our streetlights reliable and prevent outages, as we heard from Mayor Gloria. And Merry Christmas, I must say. When we think of infrastructure, lighting might not be the first thing that comes to mind, particularly at the federal level, but aging infrastructure in some of our most historic neighborhoods needs updating, and that's why we depend on all the hardworking men and women whose hands and minds make these projects come to life. And without adequate and updated lighting, pedestrians and cyclists are more at risk at night among cars. During the summer, beach communities see so much traffic from tourists and locals alike, which makes visibilities in these areas a matter of safety and security. The beach communities in my district are a crown jewel, and I understand that what my constituents need here can be different from what constituents in other parts of the district need. I'll keep fighting for funds to support the safety of the people I represent, and I appreciate the chance to spread the word about this success today. And let me just say one thing about the beach communities. My wife and I were from the Midwest. We were so excited in 1989 when we moved to San Diego to be able to live near the ocean. And this is something that San Diegans sometimes take for granted. We're defined by our relationship with the ocean. But what a thrill for us to be able to live here. And I would just say two things about these communities. One is that they're very old. Logan Heights, Point Loma, and Pacific Beach, where this money is going into places that were built a long time ago, not in the 70s or the 80s, but many, many decades ago. And so we see a lot of infrastructure here that's really challenged in terms of keeping it up. And I think it's been a challenge for all big city mayors like Todd Gloria, Mayor Gloria, to fund those things. But I think it's really important for people, San Diegans, to realize that as nice as it is out here, this is old infrastructure. And the other thing I would say about the beach community is that we get tens of millions of visitors a year to come to the ocean, which we welcome them to do. It's an important part of our economy. We're lucky to live in a place where people pay to visit. But that means that the infrastructure here that's already old takes a special beating in La Jolla, in Pacific Beach, in Ocean Beach, and in Point Loma. It's my honor to represent those communities here, and I'll keep highlighting those things, keep encouraging my colleagues to support you, and keep encouraging the members of the City Council, the Mayor, to remember that these communities are underserved in their own way, and that's why it's so important for me to help be a partner in bringing resources out here as well. I want to thank the City of San Diego workers who are putting this money to use, Councilmembers Campbell and LaCava for their leadership, and Mayor Gloria for his relentless work for San Diego, doing so much good for us. And we'll keep trying to bring you money to help you do more good things like this.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Congressman Peters. And I can't emphasize enough, it is so helpful to have a member of Congress that when they're sitting in the Capitol, they're thinking about neighborhood infrastructure back home. And there's not an opportunity I have to interact with Scott Peters when he isn't asking about the roads, the plumbing, the lights, the parks, the libraries, and you see it because he doesn't just ask about it, but he delivers money to actually repair them. And this is one of many things. We were together not even a week ago in Mission Bay dedicating a new bridge across the San Diego River. So what you see is a real focus on the needs of the district and, importantly, delivering for them. So, Scott, thank you so much. And I know the same is true for Congressman Vargas. Please take back our appreciation. Let me conclude, because you may have some technical questions. And as you heard from my description of the series circuit, I know a thing or two, but we have some pros at City Hall. And I wanted to say this may be our first press conference with Bethany in the role of transportation director. We recently appointed her to this top role, and so that means that she's responsible for helping to maintain our roads, our streetlights, our sidewalks. It's a big job, but I have tremendous confidence in Bethany, who did an exceptional work leading our stormwater department for a while now. She is in this role, and I couldn't be happier to tell you a little bit more about this. And as a representative of, as Congressman Peters mentioned, the incredible city staff that work hard every single day to repair this infrastructure, I think she can tell you a little bit more about the work that's being performed here today in Pacific Beach. Bethany?
Well, good morning. It is my pleasure to be highlighting all of the work with our crews on the ground just this morning. As you can see, several blocks south and moving north, we are doing active diagnostics of the system right here today. And our hope is that we'll have some of these lights online even just this morning or later this week. So it's really exciting. The infrastructure in this neighborhood is from the 1950s, so it's incredibly old. It's prone to faults. The cables and the wires degrade, and also when people don't pull permits and actually impact the wires in the ground, it causes lots of problems for our system. So we're so proud of our city teams that are out here today that are making some repairs. As has been mentioned, series lighting are basically daisy chained together. They create a loop in the circuit, and when any part of that circuit is interrupted, it causes problems for the entire neighborhood. So you're thinking hundreds of lights going out in one fell swoop just because of one small problem. So it's really challenging for us every day to keep these online. We're really excited that our crews are actively working out here today. And this $3.5 million is going to be so critical to upgrading our infrastructure. A special thank you to Congressman Peters and Juan Vargas also for bringing this money to our communities. It helps us keep infrastructure fresh and current and modern, and helps continue to provide services for the city of San Diego. Thank you.
Can I say one thing? Yeah, of course. A little political error there. I out of my list, I left out Mission Beach, so splice that in for me, please.
You want a congressman with that attention to detail, everybody. That's all that we have to share with you this morning. We're happy to take questions or break for one-on-ones. I'll just conclude with appreciation to the homeowner for allowing us to use their lawn. I think it's a fair exchange, 20 minutes on your grass to get the lights back on. Do you have a question?
Yes,
Yeah.
just to confirm the data coming from the city, Mayor, you mentioned 200 streetlights. Someone else said 170, 160. What's the exact number of streetlights that are going?
So I think what we're doing is 160th with this particular funding.
That's right, yes.
Along with quite a bit more with the outside contracts. So it's safe to say hundreds of streetlights. Put that in context, I think we have roughly 6,000 that are out right now out of an inventory of 60,000 streetlights. So that's about 1 in 10. We got a lot of work to do. And I appreciate folks' patience while we work on this. With the help of these council members and obviously the assist from the federal government, we're putting a lot more dollars at this. We got some more hands. And again, we need more folks to come work for the city of San Diego. We need more electricians to come here. I think we have less than 10 currently to maintain 60,000 streetlights. We have not always been an employer of choice in recent years. That's changing. And again, we have good pay and benefits, secure positions at the city. Come work for us. We can put you to work tomorrow.
So you guys are
Yeah.
actively hiring electricians, like on the city's website? Or
Yes, well, thank you, Heather. Yes, I would encourage folks to go to sandiego.gov. We're hiring. We had our first ever hiring fair about 2 weeks ago, and some of you covered this. We had a line out the door around the building of folks. We offered jobs to dozens of people on site, and we hired, I think it's safe to say, probably over 100 people since then. Point is, we have vacant positions at the city and all manners of responsibilities and services. So, I understand the frustration about roads getting paved, streetlights getting repaired, libraries being open. Maybe we can funnel some of that frustration to come and work for the city so that we can actually provide those high levels of services to neighborhoods, the services they frankly deserve.
And then we see them working. So these, like right here on the street, they might be on by tonight as far as like Point Loma, Logan Heights. What's the timing on that?
Bethany, can you maybe shed some light on that? Did you get that? Okay, good. I thought that was pretty good.
Yes, so each individual location requires specific diagnostics, so it really depends on the individual block that we're talking about. For these blocks right here, we're doing the active diagnostics to figure out what the challenge is, and we think as early as in the next several hours to potentially how challenging it is based on the wiring and what's been wrong here. It could be up to this week, but the crews are actively working here. Each individual community takes a little bit of a different technical diagnosis.
So they're going to be working maybe, is it this week on Logan Heights and Point Loma, or you just don't know?
Our crews are across the city every day, so they're working on individual locations every day.
Do we know if there's going to be
Contracted? We have the contract's $2 million.
Up to 1.5.
Please introduce yourself.
Good morning. How you doing? This is Juan Vargas, Transportation Department Program Manager. We have up to $1.5 million in contractor services looking here forward sometime in April. That was the question you had asked.
So how many does that net out to?
Oh, how many electricians? We have electricians. We've got a total of 18 right now. We've still looking to hire more electricians as we speak. We have an active recruitment process that we are going to try to fill our vacancies, to try to get our team full strength and to get out to the public, get these repairs done out in the different districts here.
Will there be any road closures around here?
Road closures all depends on the repairs necessary to make to restore the lighting here in the circuit. So it just depends on what the diagnostics produce. Once we've established what the fault is, we'll then take proper measures to make sure the area is secure for us to make those repairs. Sometimes they do require underground damages do require repairs, so we may have to close the street depending on, again, the repairs needed.
Probably the last bit for that, if you don't want to come work for us, what you can do is be eyes and ears out for us. Use the Get It Done app to report streetlights that are out in your community. Those reports go directly to Bethany's team, like literally to their desk. So you skip the middleman, just get right into their queue for repair. And again, with this funding provided by Congressman Scott Peters and Juan Vargas, and with the new contracts and with the hiring of additional electricians, we're in a better position to actually be able to respond swiftly, get those lights back on, allow folks to feel safe in their own neighborhoods. That's not too much to ask, and that's what we want to deliver. Thank you all for being here. If anyone has additional questions, we're happy to do one-on-one. And again, thank you to the property owner for letting us use your lawn. Have a great day, everybody.